please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Well, we are now going to discuss gas. The chairman of the Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Authority, Regulatory Board, is with us to check out measures that they are taking to increase city gas consumption. D.K. Sarraf, Chairperson, PNGRB, is joining us now. Thank you very much, Mr. Sarraf, for joining us. If you can take us through the recent push, I think you are in to award about 86 areas in round 9. Can you tell us the plans that the PNGRB has to increase city gas consumption?
Yeah, Lata. First of all, we need to understand that the consumption of natural gas in our energy basket is just 6.2%, and it is down from 10.4% a couple of years back. This needs to be increased significantly, and that's why all this push. And why it needs to increase significantly is because natural gas is more environment friendly. It is more economical because the natural gas, the energy cost is lower than the liquids. And also, very importantly, the recent discoveries in hydrocarbon sector have been more gaseous than liquids. So gas would be more in supply in future, and hence it would ensure better energy security for the country if we have more and more gas in our energy basket. So with all this in mind, on the city gas front, what we are doing till now, we have awarded about 100 districts for city gas. In fact, the word city is a misnomer because we are targeting not only cities, we are targeting the complete districts, which includes villages also. So against this 100 odd districts which we have already awarded, now the plan is to multiply this, and as many as 174 districts we are targeting in the next round, and we have divided that into 86 geographical areas.
So, sir, while you are doing that, there is a landmark paradigm shift in the bidding criteria itself. Earlier, most of the bids were one of the primary points was tariff. But now it seems that network expansion, the number of connections you're providing, the number of CNG stations you're putting up, the kilometers of the pipeline, that is going to determine the winning bids. How will that, you think, impact the bids themselves, and what impact might this have on the interest that players show?
Yeah, you are right, Tata. Earlier, the major criteria was the tariff, and all the bidders invariably used to quote the negligible tariff. And since there used to be tie in the tariff, in case of tie, we used to see that how much performance guarantee the bidder is able to give, which helped nobody other than the banks. So that criteria never worked, and people quoted unviable quotes, and it has hampered the growth of the sector. So this time we have totally revamped the criteria, and the criteria is physical work, which means, and we are giving 80% weightage to that, which is the connection to the domestic kitchens, which is 50%, the number of gas stations one would establish, which is 20%, and 10% to the inch kilometer of steel pipelines, and the tariff has been reduced to only 20%.
Okay, so by when do you think these 86 areas that you are awarding will result in actually availability of piped gas? How many years does it normally take?
Yeah, so now the bids would be open in next couple of days, maybe by next Monday, and 90 days time usually we give to the bidders to bid. So which will take us to mid of July, And within 3 months of that, that means by mid of October, we want to award all these 86 GAs. And I would feel that within 1.5 years, the gas would flow to the domestic kitchens as well as to the gas stations. So, so that means it would be March of 2020.
So what is the percentage increase in number of cities or number of households by March 2020?
Yeah, the number of districts, as I told you, the already awarded districts are about 100, and now we are targeting 174 new districts. So 100 versus about 275.
Okay.
Sir, I read some comments of yours that apparently GAIL and even oil marketing companies were showing interest in city gas distribution. In the bids that you've received, I know you can't reveal too many details, but apart from established players like IGL, Gujarat Gas, etc., who are the other major participants? Any listed companies that are showing interest?
Yes, you're right. The IGL, MGL, and Gujarat Gas, they are the big companies. And the oil marketing companies have of late started participating in this particular field. And IOC, BPC, and HPC, all the three are already participating. And there are several smaller companies, and they are doing quite well. These smaller companies, because they are totally focused on these activities. So they have also participated in the previous bidding rounds. And as per the discussions which we have been having with the market players, many new companies have also shown interest. Of course, I mean, it would be seen later that how much of their interest, I mean, gets converted into actual bids.
Okay. You're evaluating a tariff hike demand by GSPL and GAIL as well?
Yeah, it's not their demand, it is as per the regulation. Their tariff needs to be updated every 5 years, and we are evaluating the updation in the tariff.
So in how much time? Because I believe that GSPL is expecting a 124% hike. I don't have GAIL's numbers with me immediately, but by when do you think you'll come back to the companies on this tariff announcement?
It will take a couple of months because we have a very small team, and the whole of the team is engaged in certain other things. So it will take a couple of months more.
Okay. You are also looking at new LNG regulations?
Yes, you are right. We have already web hosted the draft regulation for public comments. And we would like that the LNG terminals in the country, they also start providing access to any importer who would like to import LNG and sell natural gas in the country, or either sell or consume on its own.
Okay. Is there any hope at all for the gas-based power companies that gas will become a competitive fuel?
I can't comment on that because the power tariff which are prevalent in the country are too low, and I think with the existing gas prices, it may not be economically viable for them to consume gas for power generation other than for peaking load, which would be very limited in terms of consumption.
Okay.
So just a quick point on the LNG policy, the draft that's being discussed right now. Is it looking at any sort of lowering in the regasification margins? And I believe there's also talk about open access, which perhaps could put companies like Petronet LNG at a disadvantage, because right now they're among the largest players. What is expected, and by when do we get the final guidelines or the final policy?
The final guidelines should be available within next 3 to 4 months. and your understanding is right that we are going to have public access to the LNG terminals, but it would be better for the industry, including the existing terminals like Petroleum LNG, because ultimately the gas consumption because of this would increase as the not many companies would like to import gas for their own use or for selling it to others. So, and when the gas import increases, all the terminals, including the existing ones, would tend to gain only.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Sarraf, for joining us. These are ambitious plans from the PNGRB. Eventually, we are going to have open access to LNG that is imported and regasified. And as well, they are envisaging the establishment of a trading hub when the market becomes deep enough. But obviously, these are long-term plans. But something short-term is brewing on your headlines. There was a lot of talk in several newspapers that the government and the LIC nominees have met and are seeking some changes at ICICI Bank. Sapna Das, who has picked up some exclusive details on this, is joining us. No demands from the ICICI, from the LIC nominee, Sapna?
Morning, Lata. What we have been made to understand is the fact that actually no meeting or conversation as such, no dialogue has really happened between the government, that is the DFS over here, and LIC, right at the top level. That point is extremely clear. Probably what is of more significance is the fact that the indications very clearly are that the ongoing issue is completely between the investigative agencies, the Reserve Bank of India, which has the call on management, and the ICICI Bank board.
Okay.
We have also been told that whatever decision has to be taken will be taken by the regulator, which is the Reserve Bank of India, and accordingly the board will have to kind of respond.
Okay.
For example, on the Axis Bank issue, we have seen how things have turned out. So that option is always there, but it is completely the regulator's call. The government is very clear on this front.
Okay, but no clarity on whether the LIC nominee is actively asking the board, the ICICI board, to change its mind. Anything on that?
Not specifically, but the broad sense is that at least from the government's end, there has absolutely been
no pressure on
no
LIC.
meeting. Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Fair enough, fair enough. So anything that the LIC nominee decides to do with respect to the ICICI Bank and the board is entirely LIC's call. This is not coming from the government. Well, we have to wrap up on Bazaar on that note. And the good news is that most of the gains have been maintained in the first hour of trading. So interesting trading ideas lined up for you on Chartbusters. Thank you for watching Bazaar.